Rembrandt's Carcass of Beef marked an important transition point in Western art in the 17th century. While in China, Bada Shanren's Birds and Rocks fully demonstrated Chinese artistic conception. Born in the same period but with different cultural backgrounds, how did they project their feelings in their paintings? More than 6,000 oil paintings are on display at the Louvre. Mysterious beauties and famous landscapes attract people from all over the world. But there are still many works that are not well known, and some that are even hard to understand. Carcass of Beef was drawn by the Dutch painter Rembrandt. What do you see in this painting? A bull that has just been killed, dirty and bloody. Yet the painting marked an important transition in Western art in the 17th century. In the Forbidden City in Beijing, there's a painting entitled Birds and Rocks. It was created by Bada Shanren, a well-known Chinese painter. What do you see in this simple painting? Its sharp and strange compositional style embodies the ultimate pursuit of artistic conception in Chinese classical painting. Born in the same period, Bada Shanren was 20 years younger than Rembrandt. But both had experienced major historical events. The Dutch Republic was established, and the Qing army crossed the Shanhai-Guan Pass. Which part of their sensitive hearts do their outstanding painting styles originate from?
他的艺术和他们的思维方法有绝大的关系。西方人的思维方法，它是一个逻辑的演绎的思维，它需要假设，需要求证。中国人的思维是一种感悟的，一种归纳的思维，它需要直抵灵符。那么东西方这种逻辑思维也好，感悟思维也好，它的终极目的是为了达到宇宙本体。
Different thinking patterns have led to different painting styles. Even for one particular artwork, people of different eras would have different interpretations. Let's focus on Rembrandt and Bada Shanren, two great artists of the 17th century. The painting method makes use of light and shade to present three-dimensional images. Before that, Western painting required accurate measurements, and its bright and smooth lighting method met the needs of religious and royal topics. But Rembrandt changed this situation, and all because he came from Holland. Amsterdam was the busiest port in Europe. Its seaways, leading in all directions, brought the Dutch great wealth. By the late 16th century, the Dutch Republic had been established. Rich Dutchmen regarded oil painting as the most realistic form of household ornamentation. Paintings of that time depicted not only natural landscape and portraits, but also the goods that people owned. Look at the still life paintings in the Louvre Museum. Believe it or not, the feathers of birds in the paintings were bargaining chips for painters. If the price you offered was higher, the colour of the feathers would be brighter. If you gave extra money, you could ask the painter to add more light spots to the grapes. In these paintings, artists' skills could be measured and priced. But such paintings were easily forgotten. They were merely artistic products. This kind of painting broke the limitations of religious and royal topics. Art started to pay more attention to ordinary people. As a result, there were more chances for artists to create new lighting methods. A young man from Leiden called Rembrandt was one of them.
Dans ces conditions, les peintures de Rembrandt, elles s'inscrivent dans un marché où on montre l'extrême richesse de la population hollandaise. Et c'est très important d'avoir en tête cette disposition économique, cette façon de faire, puisque Rembrandt a été extrêmement prospère, c'était un peintre très riche durant une partie de sa carrière.
Rembrandt's works contained much potential. In 1632, he drew the painting The Anatomy Lesson of Dr. Nicolaes Taub. In this painting, he used a pyramid structure instead of putting everybody in one line. This intelligent composition had a great impact at that time. The Anatomy Lesson of Dr. Nicolaes, such a free style of artistic expression, was very familiar. In ancient China, people conveyed their inspiration about life and nature through various channels, and painting was one of them. Having been in development for hundreds of years, Chinese painting focused on expressing feelings instead of precise depiction. It seemed only this kind of artistic expression was the highest standard in Chinese painting. Bada Shanren's painting made this kind of artistic expression even more profound. Bada Shanren was a descendant of a royal prince of the previous dynasty. His original name was Zhou Tong, which was later changed to Zhou Da. He lived in Nanchang City, which had been an important trade center in the Central Plains since its founding in 202 AD. By then, Nanchang had become a bustling city of about 200,000 people. Its well-developed economy made the city open and free. This is where Bada Shanren's painting career started. In 1644, the Manchu army entered the Central Plains. The lives of the royals were ruined. Bada Shanren's peaceful life also ended. 4 years later, he became a Buddhist monk and started to learn painting from his master, Hong Min, while cultivating himself. Huan village, 50 kilometers away from Nanchang, is an ordinary village in Jiangxi province. 400 years ago, Bada Shanren's Buddhist life started here, in the Helin temple.
这是和林山寺各个巴掌山人的故事的，就是在这里。现在留下遗产的还有两杠桥，一个正门，一个一杠桥。
From here, we will begin our journey to get to know Bada Shanren. Albums of Sketches from Life is one of his paintings. It was drawn in 1659, when he had been in the temple for 9 years. His paintings were quite unique at that time.
八大山人他是语言非常简练的。八大山人他是曾经入过佛门，而佛门呢也主要是禅宗。禅宗呢，他的主张呢是不立文字，直指本心。
Zen is a unified blend of lifestyle and frame of mind. It seeks spiritual enlightenment and pursues purity and wisdom. Today, we're not sure how Zen Buddhism influenced Bada Shanren, but we can explore his thoughts from a different angle. Bada Shanren always referred to himself as a person with a pure mind. Maybe for him, leaving large blank spaces in his paintings was one way to express his endeavors. This was a brand new style in Chinese painting, vivid but mysterious. In Fan Zhang's opinion, Rembrandt used simple brushwork to express the most subtle detail and changes in both the human body and spirit. Bada Shanren, on the other hand, made use of simple images to express himself. In fact, people don't need professional insights to be touched by their paintings.
天有好生之德，他在好生之德上，他同样授予的生命一个自身的很多的 DNA 的基因，这种 DNA 的基因，它使你对美有个原始冲动和原始判断，这种原始冲动和原始判断是符合宇宙的大规律的，是符合天地大美的。
The birds and stones in Bada Shanren's paintings were drawn with only a few brush strokes. But the painter's feelings and inspirations were fully revealed on the paper.
八大山人，他对荷花、对荷叶对石头，他完全是凭着自己感悟，最后锤炼的提取出来几根线条。他说这几句话够了。
Let's return to Rembrandt's carcass of beef. A shabby butcher's shop in a village and a newly slaughtered bull. It delivered the most delicate changes and details through his solid brushwork.
Donc si vous voulez, c'est le format aussi du tableau, ça lui donne une force, ça lui donne un impact visuel, la couleur, le fait que tout est grumeleux, extrêmement terreux, il y a une espèce de puissance de la touche, de vibration, c'est extrêmement tonique, il y a une tension dans la peinture.
Paintings of such topics ushered in a new way to express feelings. Rembrandt's brushstrokes were vigorous enough to reveal people's true desires. From these two paintings, we can see that Rembrandt tried to look for peace through a passion, while Bada Shanren seemed quiet but aggressive. However, to fully understand an artist and his works, we have to go back to his time to know how he felt. This painting is one of Rembrandt's self-portraits. A tired old man we seem to see unhappiness and resentfulness in his eyes. Maybe Rembrandt's life at that time was not very satisfactory. This is another self-portrait, which was completed in 1674. The thin, elegant man is wearing light-coloured clothes, and we can see persistence and determination in his eyes. The man is Bada Shanren. The seal on the painting reads, "Descendant of a royal prince." From it, we can see he still missed his earlier royal life. These two men in the paintings were middle-aged. We can somehow see the turning point of their lives. The Night Watch, which was finished in 1642, depicts a group of Amsterdam militiamen. But not all the figures in the picture are completely visible, and some figures are even hidden in the shadows. At that time, this painting style was not accepted, and Rembrandt was condemned as a cheat. The painting, which in modern times is considered a masterpiece, brought him a foul reputation. Meanwhile, in 1680, Bada Shanren had a sudden breakdown. He couldn't stop crying or laughing. People questioned his Buddhist training. It seemed that he still had a sentimental attachment to the secular world. With uncertainty and resentment, he burned his monk's robes. His name, Bada Shanren, has been well known ever since. His own inscription looks like the Chinese character for laughing. It also looks like another Chinese character, crying. Whether laughing or crying, it seemed that the painter was going through a tough time. Most great artists lived full lives of ups and downs and were always treated as rebels in their own time. Rembrandt and Bada Shanren were no exception. As a result, they had to resort to painting to express their feelings. That is why their artworks are so special.
一个时代的风潮，一个整个审美习惯，或者说当时人们所提倡，在这个情况之下，艺术家到底是观言差色，看社会需要呢？ 还是画自己所最喜欢的。我想，一个伟大的艺术家一定要画自己最喜欢的东西，而不是画社会最喜欢的东西。
What did most people like in Rembrandt's time? Maybe from today's runway fashion shows, we can go back 400 years and experience the fashion trends of that time. Colourful clothes of various styles create our impression of the 17th century's Baroque style. At that time, rich Europeans idolised gorgeous decorations and luxurious styles, and they preferred expressing feeling through motion and changes. Now let's return to the Louvre Museum, where many of Rembrandt's paintings are on display. This painting is Rembrandt's Bathsheba at her bath. This is a story from the Bible. Rubens also drew a similar painting.
Vraiment intéressé aux sentiments de cette jeune femme. Pudeur blessée, sentiment d'abus de pouvoir, d'être une victime d'un abus de pouvoir, et en même temps caractère irrévocable, caractère fatal de cette histoire. Elle ne peut pas échapper à son destin. Et tout ça, ça passe par une technique, effectivement, une mise en scène de ce corps nu qui est, si vous voulez, une espèce de matérialisation du sentiment de mélancolie, de transposition, de déréliction. qui se serait soudain fait cher. C'est proprement un coup de génie.
By now, because of his painting Night Watch, Rembrandt had become a lonely individual in Amsterdam's painting circles. No one liked his paintings. His financial situation was getting worse. One by one, his wife and children passed away. No one could enter his spiritual world. He took to looking at himself in the mirror and drew self-portraits over and over again to express his passionate and complicated feelings in challenging mainstream painting. Although he lived at a time when paintings of the Song and Yuan dynasties were preferred, Bada Shanren sometimes also followed the mainstream. Landscapes, birds and flowers were arranged in a calm atmosphere. But we're fortunate that he didn't always paint like this. Having returned to the secular world, Bada Shanren started to pay more attention to nature and life. The lotuses, fish, birds and stones in his paintings were drawn with antique brushstrokes. He didn't describe every detail of these objects. Instead, he mainly focused on turning his disappointing life experience into a representation of the vitality of all creatures.
中国画家也好，书法家也好，最初的原始冲动一定是抒发一己之情，无论是悲愤哀怨啊。如果讲你表现得非常之好的时候，它就会渐渐带有了普遍性，哎，那就会别人欣赏它时就会有同感。
Although Bada Shanren had suffered many frustrations, his paintings reveal only purity instead of struggle or confusion.
"艺术啊，先安慰自己，再安慰世人。我想这个过程基本是不错的，基本不错的。 包括今天的艺术家，如果你一个作品你自己还没感动呢，你怎么去感动别人？
Bada Shanren created many unique marks with his brushes in his paintings and reached a peak difficult for others to equal. Similar experience had provided Rembrandt and Bada Shanren with extraordinary talent. Their different cultural backgrounds and artistic expression doesn't affect our understanding of their paintings.
Le bœuf écorché qui a sans cesse inspiré les artistes, je veux dire les artistes modernes au XXe siècle, Soutine, Picasso s'en sont inspirés. C'était comme un phare, si vous voulez, quelque chose qui était une lueur, qui les attirait. Et ça, c'est essentiellement dû à la technique, à la force, à l'expressivité du tableau.
Bada Shanren's clean and simple brushwork has also had a great impact on today's artists. Over 2,000 years ago, Socrates said that in every one of us there is a sun, so long as we let it shine. Rembrandt and Bada Shanran lived at the same time, yet they didn't know each other. Both of them have created priceless artistic legacies through their paintings.
各自的文化在一个完全纯粹独自的范围里面发展，而这种发展，它并不凭借他山之石，它有个完全自主的体系。正因为他们互相不来往，因此他们的距离到形成了今天互相欣赏的一个源头。
Surprises, guesses, imitation, and misunderstanding. Years ago, in the period of Rococo art, what happened when the East and West communicated with each other for the very first time?